This video is a class assignment and does not necessarily reflect the views of the makers and classmates.
Descent with modification from common ancestors. Charles Darwin.
Change in the gene pool of a population from generation to generation by such processes as mutation, natural selection, and genetic drift. Dictionary.com.
The best idea since sliced bread! UrbanDictionary.com.
Along with these definitions come misinterpretations rooted from lack of knowledge and acceptance. Survival of the fittest, a well-known misconception, claims the strongest species will survive and outlive those lower in the food chain. Mutation, another misconception, is an abnormal change in original gene. While these may seem correct in theory, other factors such as reproduction, inheritance, and cooperation also play a major role in order for evolution to occur.
Evolution is brought about by reproduction in that the reproduction of a species enables it to survive, adapt, reproduce, and pass on its genes. Only the species that are fit for their environment will reproduce.
This is a phylogeny showing the progression of the snail shell over time. The flattened blue shell is the common ancestor, and over generations of adaptation and reproduction it branches off, changing the shape and color of the shell so that it is best adapted to survive its environment. Here is a map of the same snails in the phylogeny showing where they live. Each island has a species of snail that is best adapted to its specific environment and has reproduced, becoming the dominant snail species on the island.
Inheritance contributes to evolution because it deals with specific traits being passed down from generation to generation. The traits that are passed down survive in later species, resulting in the evolution of that species.
An example of this is the specific trait of a walrus's flipper. The walrus's flippers are hairless and the skin on the soles is thick and rough, providing traction on both land and ice. This trait is essential in survival and is continuously inherited for the species.
The cooperation of a species that results in evolution of a species is also known as coevolution. Species that cooperate or work together will often evolve together.
An example of species cooperating can be found in the pollination of flowers by bees. The bees are drawn to flowers because of their nectar. While consuming the nectar, the bee picks up the pollen from the flower, and when it flies away, the bee pollinates other flowers, allowing for the continuation of that species of flower. The flower and the bee have co-evolved so that they both benefit from the interaction. Bees get the food they need, and flowers survive another generation.
Evolution is not merely survival of the fittest or mutations in a species. It is the process of change in a gene pool that is brought about by reproduction of a successful species, inheritance of traits by offspring, and the cooperation of species. These three methods of evolution are all main contributors to what has caused the changes in species that we see today.